Always great having my next guest on the show. It's Garrett Armfield, who will finally be back in action August 26th at UFC Singapore when he takes on Toshiomi Kazama. Garrett, how are you?
I'm great, Ryan. How have you been?
I'm good. I'm good, man. I'm excited to have you back. We were talking a little bit before we started live here. A year. It's almost a year since we've seen you. And
Yeah.
I have to imagine you're just ecstatic to be back in action, especially on such a nice card.
Yeah, man, I am so excited to be able to go out there and especially overseas. Like this is the furthest I've ever been away from home. It's the first I've ever had to fight anywhere. Uh, Man, it's been a long time coming, and it's been a year. I did not foresee after that, after my debut, that hey, Garrett, you're not going to fight for a year. Um, Wouldn't never would have told you that, but here we are, and I became even better fighter since then. So you know, things happen for a reason. I'm ready to get back into it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And obviously, it's been well documented. You had the staph infection, which canceled the
Correct.
Cristiano Rodriguez fight. But then
Yep.
also, you were supposed to fight Jose Johnson, and he pulled out of that fight. How just discouraging was that, man? To have another fight lined up and then that one fall through too.
That was very discouraging because I put in a lot of work that camp. That one was really hard, especially I was in the process of cutting weight because I found out on Thursday. I was like starting to kind of sweat everything out a little bit, and then I got the phone call from my manager, and he was like, "Hey, man, I want you to hear from me first before you kind of see it on the news." But Jose's out for his medical reasons. Not going to go into that, but yeah, it was discouraging. Um, Thankfully, the UFC actually did compensate me for that. So, mad respect to UFC, they didn't have to do that, and they definitely pulled through for me. And shout out to my manager for negotiating that. But it sucked because actually, after I got back, even though I got paid, I was like, I remember I was sitting at like Insomnia Cookies, and I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna eat this cookie, like one of those nice cookies. And it like felt depressing. I feel like I still didn't even earn the cookie, even though like I made some money, but like I didn't get to do what I love. And I think at that point, that's when I realized that it's not about the money for me. It's I just love to fight. And the fact that I didn't get to fight or compete, it broke my heart. But hey, we picked everything back up and we got back on that horse.
That's really cool that Dana White and the UFC compensated you for that fight, regardless. Because obviously, there's been a lot of reports in the news about Wonder Boy recently. He hadn't gotten paid after his fight fell through. So I don't know if that's changed, if he's been paid now. But I wonder how that differs. For you getting compensated and maybe him not.
I think the biggest difference is the amount of money he makes compared to the amount of money I make. That's definitely, I would probably say that. Because I'm in my initial contract, and he is like,
Yeah.
I think Dana White commented like $500,000 or something. So I can definitely understand. I don't understand. Obviously, we're athletes; we still deserve to get paid, especially if he did his job.
Mm.
Um, but I get it's a little bit different situation, I guess.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. I'm on the camp where I believe that you guys should all get paid at least something if a fight falls through and you guys did your job. If your opponent gets injured and the fight's scrapped, you should still get paid as long as you showed up, you were professional, made weight, and all of that. That's just the way that I feel about it.
I think he did. I think Dana White did say that they're going to go out and they're going to figure out something with him, what he was going to be compensated for, what he's going to be paid for.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know if I listened to that interview correctly. I don't know if you recall that, but it did sound like they were eventually going to get to helping him out and getting what he earned.
Okay, yeah, not good because he deserves it.
Yeah, of course.
Again, man, one of the best gyms in the world, Kill Cliff. You said you've made a lot of improvements since we've seen you last. Where do you feel like you've made the biggest strides in your overall game?
Actually, I switched camps.
You're not
Yeah,
at Kill Cliff anymore.
I'm not in Killcliff anymore. No.
What did this happen?
May. This happened in May.
Okay,
Yeah,
jeez,
I'm at
I'm
a
way
new camp.
behind.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I didn't really go out and make. I changed my Instagram bio and stuff. I didn't really make no like formal announcement that I was moving. But I was at Killcliff for about 4 years, and man, I love training there. I love the teammates. I love the coaches, everything. But uh, for me, it was my time to kind of move forward. And sorry, can you see me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was just ready to go a new direction. I was actually, let's see, in May. So after February, actually, I went on vacation with my family back in March, and then on the last day of vacation, I actually started getting pink eye, and I was actually bedridden with pink eye for about a month. I had it in both eyes, and I couldn't see, couldn't open my eyes, so I was kind of like that for a month straight. Man, I couldn't even drive. It was awful. I actually eventually had to go to a specialist, and then since I didn't have any fights lined up, I was ready to move back home, be with family, and kind of go to like a smaller gym, especially like more affordable cost of living. So I actually jumped ships and I moved to Kansas City, Missouri, and now I'm training at Marathon MMA with Trey Ogden, Miles Johns, Mike Breeden, and a bunch of other younger up and coming pros. So it's been definitely a big change going from like a big gym like Killcliff to this smaller gym. With that being said, man, um, it's it's actually been a great experience, because now I feel like the camp is like so much more directly involved with my career and my fights. Killcliff did a great job. They built me up to the fighter I am today, and they helped me out a ton. Mad respect to them. Um, But with them having like 50 or so fighters, the coaches only can be spread so thin. And a couple of the coaches really took the time to help me out still and kind of give me some good areas to improve on and good learning. But I was ready to kind of be somewhere a little bit smaller, a little smaller camp, stay a little bit healthier. And so now I'm in Marathon MMA, and it's been an incredible change. And I feel like I became a hell of a fighter training with them. I don't know if you know Trey. I'm sure you do,
Trey
but
Ogden. Yeah, he's the head coach there, right?
correct. He is just like a mastermind. Man, as soon as he found out I had my fight, literally the next day, I had a whole page of notes to study for this fight. And I started getting 4 privates a week, 5 privates a week, just to help me prepare as long as the other training. Um, a big thing I was worried about was that if I was going to have like etiquette training partners, like enough of them to really push me. And Trey's done such a great job at developing these younger fighters and molding them into um, outstanding athletes because he takes it upon himself to be the leader that uh, where marathon gets its name from is like just constantly being able to go, go, go nonstop. And so whenever I got there, granted I was like fresh off of laying in bed for a month, but wow, it was like awakening. I was like, oh wow, like these guys push a pace, they outworked me. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna be good here. This is gonna be a good spot. And I've got guys like Miles Johns who give me my really tough rounds that are really technical. And then I got other guys that push the pace and other guys that are kind of not as developed skillfully. And man, it's actually pretty interesting. It's like a weird theory that like if all your training partners are studs, it's kind of hard to learn new moves.
Yeah.
But if you have guys where you can scale it up, like say I want to learn, let's say armbar, random or something along those lines, um, you can kind of like practice it on guys that aren't as skilled, and then scale it up to people that are very skilled. And I really believe that's a great way to learn. I've read a podcast, I listened to a podcast by Gordon Ryan where he's like 80% of his rounds are against guys that are like blue belts and purple belts, and then like the rest of his rounds are against high level guys. And he's like, man, you can practice, learn the moves, and actually get them done and perfect it before you go on against the top guys that know how to defend it.
It makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. And I've heard, I just interviewed Mike Breeden and he raved about Trey Ogden, about what a great coach he is as well. Is Trey officially done fighting? Is he just focusing on coaching now?
No, no, he still fights as well. Yeah, he's
Okay.
trying to get matched up hopefully in the next couple months. No, he's still fighting.
Okay. No, very
Yeah.
good. Have you posted much on your Instagram about this move? Because I haven't seen, and I just looked before we started this interview. I saw stuff at Kill Clip, but it was a little while back. Maybe you're posting stuff on your story, not on the actual page.
Yeah, I'm posting like me training there at the store. I haven't made any official post yet. I was supposed to, but I never got around to it. But no, I didn't make any official post. But yeah, so I'm at Marathon MMA now. I love
Very
it.
good. Cool, man.
Yep.
Yeah. No, this is the hard part about being a part-time MMA journalist. Got my full-time job. I got a full-time wife, so sometimes things slip through the cracks. So I apologize for not knowing that, but that's very cool. You got a really great team there. And the only, I guess, drawback I could see is you don't have that sunny Florida weather anymore.
Yeah, right. I mean, see, I did it smart. I moved here in the summertime, so I still got a couple extra months of summer. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I haven't really thought about the winter yet. I don't really want to think about it. I'm
Yeah.
excited for fall though, because I love being able to like have bonfires and go hunting and do all those things I love doing. Um, and dude, living in Florida was cool, but man, it got kind of stressful being there in South Florida. It's like if I wanted to go to the grocery store, it was gonna take me an hour just because of traffic.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
that's crazy.
just like no matter where you went, like if I wanted to go to the DMV, it's gonna take me all day. Here it takes me a couple hours, still a long time, but like just less people, more space, cost of living is way better. And I love nature. There's trails everywhere. Just it's nice to be able to like wake up and go outside, have a cup of coffee and not hear traffic.
I mean, that's where I live. I'm up all the way up in Maine. So if you ever want to come up to the Northeast, let me know. I'll show you around. But you're right. Fall's the
Dude,
best
I would
time of
love to,
year.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
fall's
yeah.
phenomenal, man. It's such a great time with the foliage, the temperature. It's perfect. So you got there at a right time.
Yeah, actually, I think we're gonna be up in Maine. So like every year for Christmas, I come from a big family, and so we get my parents. We used to get my parents like gifts, like physical gifts, but they always end up in my dad's garage. And so we were like, why don't we just like all pitch in a couple $100 each, and we pay for a vacation for them, and we can go as a family. And so I think we're going to Maine next, actually.
Really? When?
Yeah. We usually purchase it for Christmas, and then we go during March.
Okay. Well, keep me
So
posted.
it's I will. So 2024, I want to be there. I think that's where we're gonna go.
Okay. Yeah, it's a great place, man. I love the state of Maine. I love growing up here and living here. So I'll definitely show you around if our schedules can mesh and we can make that happen. Tell me a little bit, Garrett, about your OnlyFans page. I'm not much for OnlyFans. I don't get on anyone's pages, but tell me how it's going for you. I see that you have promoted that a little bit.
Yeah, man, it's good. I signed a year contract with them, so they're my biggest sponsor, which is awesome. They do a great job like helping the fighters out, and man, it's just I just kind of document my training. Um, it's all safe for work stuff. Like it's all nothing like that with like OnlyFans, but it's just mostly like just me training. Um, just like pictures of my food, what I'm eating, kind of behind the scenes. And then especially like with Singapore, I'm gonna definitely do some more behind the scenes stuff with it. But it's a lot of work though. It's a lot of work because they do want you to post a lot. And man, it's kind of I don't want to say difficult because you're just taking a picture, but like always trying to find new things to post. And um yeah, like I said, man, that's a great company that's they've really helped out and they've it's been a good experience with them so far.
Very cool. You talk about taking pictures of your food and everything. What's the weight at these days? What are you walking around at like today?
Oh, today I woke up at 151. So I'm like right on track. Cutting weights, it's real easier for me. I think I'm a little bit too big for 25. I think I would have to like kind of kill myself to make that. So I think
Mhm.
35 is the perfect spot for me, perfect weight class. But yeah, like I started this camp at like 158 to 160, and then it only took me about like 2.5, 3 weeks to diet down to 151. So
Perfect.
yeah, it's coming off quick. I'm feeling good. I'm got a lot of energy. Still eating a lot of carbs. So shout out to my nutritionist. He works for S2, which I'm sure you've heard of like S2 or
Mhm.
Supplement Superstore. Um, and his name is Wes Osborne. So I've been with him for like 5 years now. So
Excited to see all the improvements that you've made leading up to this fight again, August 26th, again, UFC Singapore. When do you leave? When do you actually fly out, and what's the plan for when you get there?
I leave at 6 in the morning tomorrow, and I do not have a single thing packed.
Okay, so you got a lot to prepare for. So you're going to be there
Yep.
with plenty of time to do your thing, to cut weight, to get adjusted. Are you planning on doing any sightseeing, or is it just all business once you get there?
No, no, no. I leave tomorrow, and then I get to Singapore. The time change at 6 p.m. on Saturday, and so it's kind of perfect because then when I get there, we can go to sleep and get on their sleep schedule, And then Sunday, I'm just planning on like exploring, seeing the town. Evan Elder is going to be coming with me. He's training, still trains in Florida, but he's been a long time friend of mine. He's helped me out a ton. He's going to be coming with me. We're going to go and explore Florida, or excuse me, not Florida, Singapore. We got a couple spots I've been kind of looking at. And because the fighter hotel doesn't open up till Monday. So I got a hotel that's like near downtown. And so it's gonna be cool. Like there's this area called Little India in Singapore. If you ever get a chance to look at pictures of it, it's like the like just like the scenery of everything, all the buildings, they're like painted these vibrant colors and it's beautiful. So I'm excited. I'm definitely gonna be posting a lot about it. So um kind of get like an inside look of Singapore.
Very cool. I'll have to make sure I pay attention to your Instagram to see all of that. Your opponent, Toshiomi Kazama. I was looking at the odds. You're the favorite, Garrett. Minus 160. He's plus 140. He's 0-1 in the UFC, but you're going into enemy territory, right? He's going to be the one
Yeah.
that the fans are cheering for there. What do you think we're going to see here in this fight?
So I think he's going to come out like he does every single fight, which is game plan is always push the guy to the cage, get a some sort of like upper body lock, and then get a trip in wall defense takedown or wall takedown some sort, and then he's going to resort to his groundwork. His jiu-jitsu is slick. He's got some clean jiu-jitsu. I don't think he has the best takedowns. I think a lot of his pro fights were in a ring where you can kind of clasp your hands a little bit easier than say a cage. I think it's harder to take somebody down against a cage. Um, but I think he's going to come forward. I know he's going to come forward. And if you watch any of my fights previously, that like in my regional scene, guys that come straight forward against me, they pay the price. You know, I hit fast and I hit hard and I'm accurate. And so I know right down the pipe, I'm going to be able to catch him clean. He does have a button, and I will find that button. And you know, I mean, that's the thing again with Trey is that I was able to like specifically game plan for this opponent. And a big hole of mine was wall defense, and I just never really got to work it at Killcliff, you know. Um, and you know that's my fault. I should have reached out and found ways to work it. But with Trey, again, 4 privates a morning, we're just working on what we know is going to happen in the fight with our game planning. So I'm more than prepared for this fight. I'm excited to go out there and show the world who Garrett Armfield is. I'm excited to show my striking. I'm excited to show, my defense everywhere and really push the pace. And I know that as soon as he walks into a couple hard right hands and a couple jabs, he's going to think twice about trying to close the distance kind of recklessly like he has in the past.
You think you put him out?
I put him out.
How early is this getting out of the first round? Or do you think we could get into the second or third?
You know, I'm not going to sit here and think how what round it's going to be. I just know I'm going to put him out at some point during the fight because I'm not one. I don't want to rush it. You know, I'm going to be composed and I'm going to let my combos fly. And I know it's going to be there, whether it be the first, second, or third. It's going to be there, and I will find his button.
Have you thought about how much it's going to mean to you to get that first official UFC victory?
Yeah, I have thought about it a lot, and it always brings a smile to my face. It's a lifetime of work. Again, I've been training since I was like 8 years old. Lifetime of work to get to that point, and it's gonna be a great moment. I already know, you know. Yeah, no, it just makes me happy thinking about it, man. I love fighting. You know, win, lose or draw, nobody likes to lose. In the end of the day, I just love to fight, man.
Can't wait to see you back in there, man. Before we get out of here today, I do want to get a couple of fight picks from you. Let's start with this weekend. The 135 titles on the line. Aljamain Sterling, Sean O'Malley. Who wins and how?
Sterling by decision.
Okay, straight to the point. And then the main event for UFC Singapore, one of my favorite fighters of all time, Max Holloway is back in action against the Korean Zombie. Do you think Max gets the job done, or do you think the Korean Zombie wins?
I mean, Max Holloway's set records for a reason, and he's still in his prime, which is insane to think about because he's been in the UFC for like 15 years. I don't know that long, but it seems like it.
Yeah,
So I do. My Max Holloway is going to get out there. I think in like a fourth round TKO.
that's kind of what I'm thinking too. I think he'll wear him down and finish him late.
It's the volume. It's the volume
Yeah,
that he output. You know, I don't think I don't think nobody's fought anybody like Max Holloway until you fight Max
Right.
Holloway, you
Right.
know? So, yeah, no, I've been watching him a long time. I think the first fight I watched him against was when he fought Justin Lawrence.
It's a
Do you remember
while
that?
ago. That
That
was
was
a
a
long
long
time ago. Yeah.
well, 'cause, Justin Lawrence is from the same area that I'm from.
Mhm.
Um, and so, yeah, seeing that, I remember watching that, and I was like, "Oh," I was like, "This is Justin Lawrence, like, he's gonna kill Max Holloway." Max Holloway is this, like, 20-year-old Hawaiian kid who looks like a baby,
Yeah.
and he still looks good to this day, you know?
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. You got to try and get a picture with Max if you're out there. I know I would be trying to myself. Again, what all-time great, one of the legends of the
Yeah.
sport.
I'm a big fan of, Korean Zombie too, so I wanna get a picture with him.
Very cool. Yeah, you should
Like,
get a picture with both of them.
yeah, right? I might fanboy a little bit over Korean Zombie, but I think Max is going to win.
Yeah, I'm with you, my man. Again, Garrett, August 26th, back in action, UFC Singapore. Always great talking to you, my man.
Yeah,
Before
thank
we
you,
do,
Ryan.
thank you, thank you. Before we do sign off, I want to give you the floor. If there's anyone you want to thank, anything you want to plug, floor is yours.
Yeah, man, thank you to, all my teammates, Miles, Mike, Trey, everybody at Marathon MMA. Thank you to all my sponsors, my family for helping me out and always being there for me. And if you ever need, or if you ever want to follow any of my social medias, it's Garrett Armfield 135, and my Twitter is Armfield 135. Man, set your alarms because I'm gonna be fighting at like 6 a.m. Central Time on ESPN. So do not miss it.